Life isn't always smooth sailing, right? One moment, you're cruising along and the next, someone cuts you off in traffic, your boss drops a last-minute deadline, or your phone slips and cracks. Boom, your emotions spike, and suddenly you're reacting, often in ways you wish you hadn't. Sound familiar? But here's the thing. Your emotions aren't the problem. It's how you react to them. That's where Stoicism, a centuries-old philosophy, comes in. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, knew life would throw challenges our way. Their answer wasn't to suppress feelings, but to train their minds to respond with clarity, calmness, and purpose. And the good news? Their timeless wisdom is surprisingly simple to practice even today. Imagine being the person who stays cool under pressure, who can pause, assess, and handle anything life throws at them with grace. That's not wishful thinking. It's a skill you can develop. Stoicism teaches us that we don't control what happens, but we do control how we respond. And that small shift, it changes everything. So, how do you get there? The key is building small daily habits that strengthen your emotional resilience over time. In this article, we'll dive into 10 practical Stoic-inspired habits to help you regain control over your reactions. These aren't lofty philosophical concepts. They're real-life strategies you can start using today. Ready to handle life's chaos with a little more calm? Let's jump in. 1. Start your day with a morning reflection. How you start your morning sets the tone for the rest of your day. Think about it. How many times have you rolled out of bed, rushed through your morning routine, and found yourself frazzled before you even started? Morning reflection is the Stoic way to regain control. It's not about meditating for hours or reciting ancient quotes. It's about giving yourself a moment of calm to mentally prepare for what's ahead. The Stoics believed that life is full of unpredictability. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." It sounds harsh, but he wasn't being cynical, he was being realistic. Acknowledging that challenges will come your way helps you face them calmly when they arrive. Each morning, take 5 minutes to ask yourself, what's likely to happen today? What kind of difficulties might I face? Visualize yourself handling those moments with patience and reason. Whether it's a tough meeting, traffic, or a disagreement, picture yourself responding in a way you'll be proud of. This simple practice builds emotional armor. Instead of being caught off guard, you're prepared. When challenges arise, you'll recognize them as expected, not something to overreact to. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to approach the day with steadiness, making you less reactive and more in control. 2. Practice negative visualization. It might sound counterintuitive, but one of the most powerful Stoic practices for controlling your emotions is negative visualization. No, this doesn't mean sitting around imagining your worst fears all day. It's about mentally preparing yourself for life's uncertainties so you can handle them with grace when they happen. The Stoics believed that imagining potential setbacks could help you face them with less emotional turmoil. Seneca, one of Stoicism's great thinkers, explained it perfectly. He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. Essentially, when you've already imagined a problem, it doesn't hit as hard if it happens. Here's how you can practice it. Take a moment in the morning or during a quiet part of your day to think of small, realistic inconveniences. For example, imagine misplacing your wallet, being stuck in traffic, or receiving critical feedback at work. Picture how these scenarios might feel, but also visualize yourself staying calm and handling them effectively. Instead of letting panic or frustration take over, think through the steps you'd take to solve the problem rationally. This practice shifts your mindset from reactionary to prepared. When one of these minor annoyances actually occurs, it feels like something you've already dealt with in your mind, which makes your response calmer and more deliberate. Over time, negative visualization helps you stay grounded and reduces the emotional spikes that come with unexpected challenges. It's like a mental rehearsal for resilience. Pause before reacting. Have you ever said or done something in the heat of the moment that you immediately regretted? That's the trap of emotional reactivity. The Stoics teach us a simple but transformative habit: the power of the pause. By pausing before you react, you give yourself the space to respond thoughtfully instead of emotionally. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The truth is, most situations don't require an immediate reaction, especially emotional ones, but when emotions surge, they can feel urgent. Someone cuts you off in traffic, a colleague makes a snide comment, or your partner forgets something important. Your first instinct might be anger or frustration, but that's the moment to pause. Here's how you can practice this habit. When something triggers you, take a deep breath and count to 5. Ask yourself, what's really happening here? And will my reaction improve this situation or make it worse? Often, the pause reveals that the issue isn't as serious as it feels in the moment. This break allows your rational mind to regain control before emotions take over. Pausing before reacting not only helps you avoid saying or doing something you'll regret, but it also creates an inner sense of control. Over time, this habit reduces stress and builds emotional resilience. You'll find yourself responding with calm and clarity, making even difficult situations easier to navigate. It's a small step with big results. 4. Embrace the circle of control. One of the most freeing ideas in Stoicism is understanding what's within your control and letting go of the rest. Epictetus put it bluntly, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." This concept, known as the circle of control, is a cornerstone of Stoic thinking and a powerful tool for managing emotional reactions. Think about the things that stress you out. Maybe it's the weather, someone else's attitude, or the outcome of a project. The Stoics remind us that we waste energy trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead, focus on what you can control: your actions, your mindset, and how you respond to the world around you. To apply this habit, when you feel overwhelmed or frustrated, pause and ask, "Is this within my control?" If it's not, remind yourself that no amount of worry or anger will change the situation. Shift your attention to what you can influence. For example, if a colleague is being difficult, you can't change their behavior, but you can control your reaction by staying calm and professional. If the weather ruins your plans, you can't stop the rain, but you can decide to embrace a new activity. Over time, this practice rewires your thinking. You stop pouring energy into things you can't change and focus on areas where you have real influence. The result? Less frustration, more peace of mind, and a clearer path forward in any situation. 5. Reframe challenges as opportunities. Life is full of challenges, and they often feel like roadblocks, but the Stoics teach us to reframe those challenges, not as obstacles but as opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, what looks like a problem can become a path forward if you approach it with the right mindset. Reframing starts with shifting your perspective. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" Or "How can I grow through this experience?" For example, if you're struggling with a demanding boss, it might be an opportunity to develop patience or improve your communication skills. If a project fails, it's a chance to reevaluate your approach and strengthen your resilience. This mindset doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending hardships are easy. Instead, it's about recognizing that challenges are an inevitable part of life and choosing to see them as fuel for self-improvement. By reframing, you take control of the narrative. You're not a victim of circumstances, you're an active participant in your growth. Over time, this practice makes you more adaptable and less reactive. You'll start to see every difficulty as a chance to sharpen your character, making life's ups and downs more manageable. Remember, the obstacle isn't the end, it's the beginning of something better. 6. Focus on the present moment. The Stoics understood something that modern science confirms. Our minds often create stress by dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Seneca warned against this, writing, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have." Focusing on the present moment is one of the most effective ways to stay emotionally balanced and grounded. Think about how often your emotions are tied to things outside the now. You replay a conversation from yesterday, worrying if you said the wrong thing, or you stress over a deadline that's weeks away. The Stoic approach is simple but profound. Return to the moment. What's happening right now? What can you do in this very moment to make the best of it? When you feel yourself spiraling, pause and focus on what's in front of you. Use your senses. What do you hear, see, or feel? If your mind drifts to regret or worry, gently pull it back to the present. For example, if you're stuck in traffic and starting to stress, notice the rhythm of your breath or the music playing on the radio instead of fixating on what you can't control. Focusing on the present doesn't solve every problem, but it helps you avoid emotional overreaction. It reminds you that life happens one moment at a time, and that peace is often found in appreciating what's here, right now. 7. Detach from the opinions of others. One of the greatest sources of emotional distress is caring too much about what others think of us. The Stoics remind us that other people's opinions are outside our control, and attaching your self-worth to them only creates unnecessary turmoil. As Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Detaching from the opinions of others doesn't mean you stop caring about people or become arrogant. It means recognizing that their judgments are shaped by their own perspectives, biases, and experiences, none of which define your value. Whether someone praises you or criticizes you, it's their viewpoint, not an absolute truth. Over time, this mindset builds inner strength and confidence. You stop living reactively, trying to please everyone, and start living authentically. Remember, the person who knows you best and who has the most power to judge you is you. Trust that, and emotional freedom will follow. 8. Practice voluntary discomfort. Modern life is all about convenience, but the Stoics believed that intentionally stepping outside your comfort zone strengthens your ability to handle challenges with grace. This practice, known as voluntary discomfort, isn't about making life harder for no reason. It's about building resilience by deliberately exposing yourself to minor hardships. As Seneca put it, set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" When you voluntarily experience discomfort, you teach yourself that you can endure more than you think. It's a reminder that you're tougher than the comforts of modern life might make you feel. For instance, you could skip a hot shower one morning, fast for a few hours, take a long walk instead of driving, or set aside a day without your phone. What's the benefit? When life inevitably throws real challenges your way, an unexpected expense, a tough conversation, or a long line at the store, you've already built the mental muscle to face it calmly. You've trained yourself to separate what's inconvenient from what's unbearable. Over time, practicing voluntary discomfort creates a mindset that's more adaptable, less reactive, and better equipped to handle life's ups and downs with strength and clarity. 9. Reflect on mortality. One of the most profound Stoic practices is memento mori, or the reflection on mortality. At first, it might seem morbid to think about death, but the Stoics believed it's a vital exercise for living fully and appreciating the present. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." By keeping mortality in mind, you gain clarity about what truly matters and stop wasting energy on trivial worries. Reflecting on mortality isn't about living in fear of death. It's about understanding its inevitability and using that knowledge to make better choices. For example, if you're stuck in traffic or angry over a small mistake, remembering that life is finite puts things into perspective. Does this moment really deserve your frustration? Probably not. Here's a simple way to practice. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, if this were my last day, would I be content with how I lived it? If the answer is no, think about what you can adjust. Are you spending enough time with loved ones? Are you pursuing things that truly matter to you? By embracing this practice, you'll start prioritizing meaning over minutiae. It's a humbling yet empowering reminder to let go of unnecessary stress and focus on living with purpose and gratitude. When you reflect on mortality, you don't fear life's end. You honor it by living more fully in the time you have. 10. End your day with gratitude. The Stoics believed that gratitude is a powerful tool for maintaining emotional balance. It's easy to get caught up in what's wrong in life, problems at work, a strained relationship, or personal setbacks. But taking time to reflect on what's good shifts your perspective and calms the emotional storms. As Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." Ending your day with gratitude isn't just about being polite. It's about grounding yourself in the abundance that already exists in your life. Before you go to bed, take a few minutes to reflect on the day. Ask yourself, what went well today? What am I thankful for? These don't have to be grand achievements. It could be as simple as enjoying a quiet cup of coffee, having a good conversation, or feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin. By focusing on these moments, you remind yourself that even on tough days, there are things worth appreciating. Gratitude rewires your brain over time. Instead of dwelling on frustrations or what's lacking, you begin to naturally notice the positives around you. This practice also helps you gain emotional control. Gratitude shifts your mind away from anger, jealousy, or anxiety and replaces it with contentment and peace. End each day with gratitude, and you'll wake up more grounded, prepared to face life's challenges with a calmer, clearer perspective. It's a simple yet transformative habit that turns even the most chaotic days into opportunities for reflection and peace. Life will never stop challenging us. Unexpected setbacks, tough relationships, and daily frustrations are simply part of being human. But while we can't control what happens, we can control how we respond. That's the essence of Stoicism, shifting our focus from what's outside of us to what's within our power. Each of these 10 habits is a small but mighty step toward mastering your emotional reactions. Starting your day with reflection helps you prepare mentally for life's chaos. Negative visualization trains you to handle setbacks with calmness. Pausing before reacting gives you space to act with intention, and embracing the circle of control stops you from wasting energy on what you can't change. Reframing challenges as opportunities strengthens your resilience, while staying grounded in the present keeps you from getting lost in regrets or anxieties. Detaching from others' opinions frees you from needless stress, and practicing voluntary discomfort builds inner strength. Reflecting on mortality reminds you to focus on what truly matters. while ending your day with gratitude anchors you in the good already present in your life. These habits aren't magic, they're practices. Like anything worthwhile, they take time and consistency. But the more you incorporate them into your daily life, the less reactive and more composed you'll become. You'll find yourself navigating life's highs and lows with a steady heart and a clear mind. In the end, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. It's about living a life of purpose, calm, and strength, no matter what comes your way. So why not start today? The path to emotional freedom is in your hands.